Tonight, we look to the skies, where the darkness is pierced not just by stars, but by the silent movement of technology shaping the fate of nations. Above the battle-scarred landscapes of Ukraine, a new and decisive battle is taking shape, one that is fought not only on the ground but in the invisible realms above. This isn't a fight with jets or missiles in the traditional sense. The familiar roar of engines and explosions is being replaced by the quiet hum of innovation and the click of computer keys. It's a high-stakes technological race, a contest of intelligence and adaptation that could determine not just the outcome of the war in Ukraine, but the very nature of modern warfare itself. On one side, Ukraine has revolutionized warfare with its relentless use of low-cost drones, striking deep inside Russian territory and disrupting supply lines, command posts, and infrastructure. These small unmanned aircraft have become a symbol of Ukrainian resistance, proving that a smaller force can challenge a larger one with the right technology. They have turned everyday tools into weapons of precision and resilience. On the other side, Russia is looking upward, to space, seeking to regain the upper hand by dominating the skies above the battlefield. The Kremlin plans to launch over 100 new satellites, a calculated military strategy to seize control of the drone war, and to create a digital shield over its forces. Russia believes a powerful satellite network can blind its enemy, guide its own drones with pinpoint accuracy, and crush Ukraine's technological edge by cutting off their eyes in the sky. For Ukraine, drones have been a lifeline, leveling the playing field and inflicting significant damage on a much larger adversary. Each successful strike is a testament to their ingenuity and determination. Losing this edge could be catastrophic, threatening not only their battlefield successes but also the morale and hope of their defenders. For Russia, the satellite surge is a chance to reclaim dominance and counter Ukraine's tactics with overwhelming force from above, turning the tide of war through superior surveillance and coordination. This is more than a regional conflict. It's a glimpse into the future of warfare, where battles are fought with algorithms, data, and machines as much as with soldiers and guns. The outcome of this technological duel will shape not just this war, but how future conflicts are fought worldwide, influencing military strategies and alliances for years to come. The world is watching to see who will win this critical new frontier as the balance of power shifts above our heads and the rules of war are rewritten before our eyes. Before the full-scale invasion, the idea of defending an entire nation with off-the-shelf drones seemed like something out of science fiction, a distant dream, not a battlefield reality. But Ukraine made it real, transforming commercial drones into weapons that could strike Russian tanks, disrupt supply lines, and gather crucial intelligence. This new tactic changed the war almost overnight. Suddenly, Ukrainian soldiers could see the battlefield from above and strike targets with precision, all while staying out of harm's way. What started as a desperate improvisation quickly evolved into a sophisticated, coordinated operation, with dedicated teams and command centers. Ukraine's army of drones crowdfunded thousands of UAVs, with volunteers and engineers working tirelessly to adapt them for military use. Engineers pushed the limits, improving range, boosting payloads, and developing new ways to resist Russian jamming and electronic warfare. This grassroots innovation led to a decentralized drone force, small, agile teams that Russia struggled to track or counter effectively. Drones became Ukraine's eyes in the sky, providing real-time intelligence, tracking enemy movements, and hunting high-value targets with unprecedented speed. Long-range drones struck deep inside Russia, hitting military bases and oil refineries, sending shockwaves through the public and shaking their sense of security. The message was clear. No part of Russia was truly safe from these new tactics. This drone revolution is about more than just technology. It's a new way of thinking about war, strategy, and national defense. Ukraine leveraged accessible technology to create a powerful asymmetric advantage, leveling the playing field against a larger adversary. Their system is hard to defeat because it's constantly evolving, with new models and tactics emerging almost every week. This network of operators, engineers, and volunteers has become a core pillar of Ukraine's defense, blending innovation with resilience. It's a model of resilience and innovation that militaries around the world are now studying, hoping to learn from Ukraine's groundbreaking approach. One of Ukraine's most striking drone campaigns was Operation Spider's Web. The goal: systematically degrade Russia's war economy by targeting vital oil and gas infrastructure. By striking these facilities, Ukraine aimed to cut off the flow of money fueling Russia's military. Waves of long-range drones launched from different locations converged on targets in carefully timed attacks. These weren't random strikes, they overwhelmed Russian air defenses with numbers and complexity. Drones flew low using complex routes to avoid detection. Major oil refineries were hit, causing massive fires and halting production for weeks. The ripple effect forced Russia to divert resources to repairs and defense. Operation Spider's Web proved Ukraine could inflict strategic pain with low-cost technology. It showed Ukraine's drone program had matured into a strategic weapon. This forced Russia to urgently seek a powerful response. To counter Ukraine's drone threat, Russia is turning to space. The centerpiece, the Rassvet constellation, over 100 advanced satellites in low Earth orbit. The goal is a persistent eye in the sky, monitoring Ukraine 24/7. These satellites will track troop movements, identify drone launch sites, and eliminate surprise. Rassvet will also supercharge Russia's own drone operations, providing secure communications and precise navigation. It's Russia's answer to Ukraine's use of Starlink, but for military purposes. This network would enable coordinated drone swarms and complex attacks. The strategy marks a major shift, an admission that existing capabilities aren't enough. By investing billions, Russia signals it believes the future of war will be decided in space. The plan build a digital Iron Dome over Ukraine made of data, not missiles. Satellites are the unseen hand guiding modern drone warfare. Their most basic function navigation. Drones rely on satellite signals to know exactly where they are. A secure Russian satellite system would make its drones more resistant to jamming and spoofing. Satellites also provide vital communication links, allowing operators to control drones from far away. Rassvet aims to give Russia a military-grade version of this link, enabling complex attacks across vast distances. Satellites with powerful sensors can instantly find and identify targets, creating a seamless sensor-to-shooter link. A large constellation would provide this capability across Ukraine, all the time. The satellite race is critical, not just for more drones but for smarter, more resilient ones. The side controlling satellite infrastructure can blind its opponent and secure its own vision. Russia's plan is to build this advantage and turn the tide of war. It's a battle for control of the information that flows through the sky. Announcing a 100-satellite plan is one thing, delivering is another. Russia faces huge hurdles, technological, industrial, and financial. Years of underfunding and quality issues plague its space industry. The Rassvet constellation could cost billions, straining a war-battered economy. Launch capacity is another challenge. Frequent successful rocket launches are needed. Any launch failure would be a major setback, causing delays and losses. Russia has a history of grand projects that never materialize. Turning Rassvet from paper to orbit is a monumental task. The world is watching to see if this leap into space is a masterstroke or just propaganda. Russia's satellite ambitions face a formidable external enemy, international sanctions. Modern satellites rely on global supply chains, especially for advanced microelectronics. Sanctions have cut off Russia's access to critical technology, forcing it to use inferior domestic alternatives. Building 100 satellites with substandard parts is risky. They could fail or be vulnerable to attack. Ukraine and its allies will actively seek to disrupt the program, including cyber attacks on Roscosmos and manufacturing facilities. The digital infrastructure supporting the satellite program is a prime target. Russia's launch sites are now within range of Ukraine's long-range drones. A strike on a launch pad or ground infrastructure could devastate the program. The very sites meant to project power into space are now targets themselves. Ukraine isn't a passive observer in this space race. Its first line of defense electronic warfare, jamming signals from Russian satellites to disrupt drone operations. If Ukraine can disrupt these links, it could render Rassvet ineffective. Ukraine excels at using intelligence to strike critical Russian assets, and this extends to the space program. Factories, convoys, and ground control stations are all potential targets. Disabling a single control station could take out multiple satellites. While Ukraine lacks anti-satellite weapons, its allies have them, a powerful deterrent. The threat of escalation into space is real. Ukraine's best counter may be to keep innovating, developing drones that are harder to detect and more autonomous. The race is about agility, not just big systems. The race between Ukrainian drones and Russian satellites is more than just another chapter in this war. It's a high-stakes contest that could shape the future of global conflict for decades to come. It's a pivotal turning point in military history, expanding the battlefield far beyond the ground, into the realms of space and cyberspace, where invisible battles for control are waged every second. The fight for Ukraine has become a living laboratory for future wars, a place where the speed and security of data, the ability to process and act on information in real time, may matter even more than the number of tanks or soldiers on the ground. This technological duel is setting new precedents for militaries around the world, forcing them to rethink strategies and invest in digital warfare capabilities. For Ukraine, maintaining the drone advantage is nothing short of a lifeline. Losing it could mean losing the ability to defend their territory and protect their people, with potentially catastrophic consequences. For Russia, achieving dominance in this arena would restore its status as a top-tier military power. Failure, on the other hand, would be a costly embarrassment on the world stage and could undermine its influence. The lines between physical and digital battlefields have blurred almost completely, making it harder to distinguish where one ends and the other begins. Now, control of information, being able to see, communicate, and coordinate while denying those same abilities to the enemy, has become absolutely central to success. The ongoing drone versus satellite race is the ultimate expression of this new paradigm, where technology and intelligence are as decisive as firepower. As this contest unfolds, we're witnessing more than just a battle for a nation's freedom. We're seeing the rules of warfare being rewritten in real time. We're witnessing the very nature of war itself transform before our eyes, as old tactics give way to new forms of conflict. The consequences of this technological arms race will echo across the globe, shaping military doctrines and international relations long after the fighting in Ukraine ends.